Very rarely do I ever watch a film in the theaters twice when it comes out. But back in 2017, I made an exception to the rule with this masterpiece of a film. And I call it a masterpiece because, again, I went and saw it twice in theaters. And we're talking about 2017's Logan, which stars Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart, and introduces Daphne King as Logan's clone slash daughter Laura, or X-23, as she's known in the comic books. Now, I'm not going to talk about plot for plot what happened from the beginning of the movie to the end of the film because at the time of this recording, it is now 2023. This film came out in 2017. Excuse me. And as always, I always do my after action reviews on anything that I watch, which is my AAR for short, in which I name ups, downs, and what I want to see moving forward if any property continues or whatnot. And being the case that come 2024, Hugh Jackman is reprising his role as Logan in Deadpool 3, albeit a different variant of Wolverine, because if you watch this film, well, you see what happens. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman said that they're not going to mess with the events of what happened in this film or in the main X-Men film franchise. But enough of that. Let's get to my ups, and I have plenty of ups. First of all, this didn't feel like a quote unquote superhero film. Now, to me, a superhero film is where you have somebody who has powers, they save the day, they have to save the world, they have to save the universe, they get the girl, they beat the bad guys, and everybody lives happily ever after. This is just a film that is based off of a very popular comic book character. And by the time that this film comes on, you get that sense of dread and sort of depression seeing that Logan is not a spring chicken like he used to be, being the fact that the adamantium in his body is eating away at him and he doesn't recover as fast. It's poison his blood. He's slower. His healing factor isn't what it was. I mean, he's not healing, and on top of that, he's just again he's old, and it has aged him very quickly. And he's also a caretaker for Professor Xavier in this film as well, who suffers from dementia and has these psychic attacks in which killed off majority of the mutants on planet Earth. But again, like I said, see the movie for yourself if you're interested in watching it. I'm just here to talk about my ups and downs, but I digress. Again, didn't feel like a superhero film to me. And it also goes to show that Father Time is undefeated. No matter how much of a Billy Badass that you are, Father Time will catch up to you. Now, my second thing was this film showed that less is always better. Unlike the other X-Men films in which there are a bunch of special effects and CGI showdowns, especially in what you see with today's films of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, this film showed that you don't need big gigantic explosions or spectacle just to tell a story or have an effective movie. Again, less is better. I'm not saying it was cheaper, but it just goes to show that you can tell more of a story by focusing on the characters and their arcs and the surroundings and the settings, and it helps flesh everything out. Which brings me to my third thing. It was a more grounded film than the other X-Men films. I mean, again, when you go back and see how the beginning of this film starts off, this is not going to be your, all right, Logan is going to kick everybody's butt. You're going to see him feel the effects of what's going on with him in this film. It also was a proper send-off for Logan. Again, when this film ends, you feel a tad bit emotional or you feel some type of way knowing that, yeah, in this timeline, because like I said, he's coming back in Deadpool 3, you feel that, yeah, Logan's time is up in this film, and definitely proper standoff for the character. The addition of Laura, X-23, also is a good factor, good upper mind, because I like what you see in the current media today, in which you introduce a new female character, and she's a Mary Sue. She did not outshadow or outdo Logan in this film, because at least this film had the dignity of letting Logan be the star of his own film versus him being his female co-star sidekick. Because plenty of times, again, you've seen a lot of films and media today where, let's say, Doctor Strange or Multiverse of Madness, for example, he's on the poster, he's in the title, but the movie is more so about Wanda and America Chavez, or barely about America Chavez, than it is about Doctor Strange, and he's just taking a back seat to his two female co-stars. And at least with Logan, hey, there was times when Logan had to save Laura, Laura had to save Logan. They both fed off each other's energies. They both helped each other out. Neither one of them outdid the other. And when you watch the film, it made that father and daughter bond that much more stronger by the time the film ends. Another one of my favorites, and definitely, we finally get an R-rated Wolverine film. His third solo outing, we finally get to see Wolverine use those claws to slice up bad guys. I mean, you see claws go through skulls, you see limbs get cut off, and it is bloody. It is fun to actually see Wolverine cut loose. Finally. And I mean, and also finally, my final up is that I say that it's the best film in the X-Men film franchise. Again, less is better. Very popular character. I mean, it was a proper send-off. What else can I say? Best film, because anybody who's been watching the X-Men film franchise knows that there have been some good ones, and then there have been ones that made you go, you guys should go back to the drawing board. And that's pretty much it for my ups. As far as my downs go, it's not for the film itself, but just overall the franchise, and that I say that this should have been the final film in the X-Men movie series. But nope, instead, we had to get Dark Phoenix and the New Mutants, both of which were, and I'm just going to say, atrocious, and the plot points of those made absolutely no sense. What's even sadder is that Sophie Turner and Macy Williams, who played in Dark Phoenix and New Mutants respectively, this is like the second franchise that they've been in to where the endings were like meh. And those two actresses were previously on Game of Thrones, in which the final season divided fans and made people actually just turn on the series as a whole. But again, in my opinion, in my world, Logan is the last film in the X-Men film franchise. Now, what I want to see, being that Hugh Jackman is about to, claw it up one more time, this time in Deadpool 3. One, I want them to keep Logan in tune with his hardcore roots in Deadpool 3. Now, we all know that Deadpool is now part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe because Disney purchased Fox Studios back in 2017. With that being the case, I hope that they don't make Wolverine nor make Deadpool family friendly, because these guys are just two of the most hardcore anti-heroes that Marvel has, next to Moon Knight and the Punisher and Venom, just to name a few. And with that being said, as far as villains go, make sure you Google this guy, Omega Red. He is such a heavy hitter in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Well, not the Cinematic Universe, excuse me. I mean in the comic books. But it would be nice to see him in the MCU, because, again, he is a very hardcore, heavy-hitting character. Consider him an evil Russian mutant version of Captain America. And, again, go Google what this guy is capable of. Hell, there are videos on YouTube that explain what this guy is capable of and his backstory, and he is a very, very wild character indeed. But yeah, again, this is one of my favorite films. I will actually watch this anytime I want to because it's just that damn good in my opinion. And if you haven't seen this, if you have the Hulu streaming service or even Disney Plus, it's on there. Or if you happen to catch it on TV, on FX or TBS or TNT, whatever, hey, give this film a try. If you are a comic book lover or you just a movie film lover, doesn't matter. Give this film a try. Or if you've already seen it, it'll behoove you to actually watch it again because, again, it's just that damn good. So with that being said, this is Mr. Thomas, and I will see you on the next one.